Hey, you guys, I'm going to bring you two very quick preliminary interviews, okay? The first one is Valerie Louise Smith. Now, she said she found this across the street from her home. She found it March 7th, 2024. She had been stepping over it for 2.5 weeks. So on that day, she finally decided to pick it up. And when she flipped it over with her thumb, because they specifically asked her, did you have on gloves? She said no. How did she pick it up? She said she kind of moved it over with her thumb. She flipped it around to see what was going on with it. And she saw the name on the ID card, Naziah Harris, an eighth grader. And, then she took it on a school bus, I think. And then she went to a gas station and she asked them to call the police, which they did. By this time, it was already in a container. So Mrs. Smith, she was not playing about this ID. She said because she's seen the news and she knew that this young girl was missing and she found the ID. So the police came, they brought her back to the spot and she pointed out, this is where the ID is. This is where I found it. And that was it. It took 3 more people, okay? Have you guys seen it? It took 3 more people to basically ask her the same things. Did you see it on Google Map? I mean, yeah, some of this stuff can be like really, really tedious and stupid. A lot of it didn't take 3 people to keep asking the same questions. She found an ID, which was good that she turned it in. She found an ID, but that was basically it. And the police came and they got it and they, gave it to the necessary people because it is Exhibit 40. Now, with this ID, I have to say that it doesn't really say too much with this ID. Actually, Naziah, feeling good, in a better mood, she could have dropped the ID by accident. I mean, how many times have we dropped IDs, or is it just me? But yeah, she could have dropped the ID by accident. It doesn't have to be a sinister thing that ID was out there like that. So, but again, it's a good thing that, Mrs. Smith, she turned it in, and it's no need to even continue with those, I call them cross-examinations. It's no need to continue because they asked pretty much the same thing. Where'd you find it? They circled it on a little map there. Where do you live at? I should have said I lived on the corner of Evergreen and St. Martin's. Basically the same stuff, and it was funny because in the comments, people were like, stop antagonizing Granny. She did what she needed to do. Yeah, I mean, it was, but again, I know some of this can be a bit much, but they needed to, go over it. Agent Barnes, that is the one that I definitely wanted to talk about. So he was actually part of the search. Now, they asked, how far did you guys search? His area, he said, was not quite half a mile. That's the location he was in. They asked him exactly how many people were searching. Now, he didn't know. He's in a different area. He said, but if he had to guesstimate, I guess it would be like several dozen, he said, which still doesn't give you a number, right? But he just kept saying it was a lot of people. It was people from different groups. They weren't all belonging to the group that he was in. So there's a lot of people out there at that moment searching for Naziah. So he said he did find clothing. He said it was balled up. He didn't know it was clothing until he kind of poked at it a bit. And when it unraveled, he noticed it was one shoe inside. It was some type of pink outfit, which was turned inside out. She asked, did he have gloves on? He said, no, he didn't. He said he did notice that it was a pink onesie that was inside out. The lady said, do you know what size it was? And then he kind of like smirked a little bit like, no. And he goes, it was small, So she said, oh, okay. And the shoe, he said it was just one shoe out there once again. He said the clothes had no discoloration on it. It was nothing like animals had tampered with it. He said the clothes looked fresh. They looked new. It didn't look like they had been there for a while, like weather had gotten to the clothing. She asked, was there other clothing out there? He said, yes, there's a lot of clothing out there, but nothing that was pertinent to Nazia's situation. No, he said there's very old clothes out there, like old coats that he knew had nothing to do with the search for Nazia or anything belonging to Nazia. Of course, they had to keep going over that a couple more times, but, I'm just sticking to, the basics here. So she asked if he take any pictures of it. He said he doesn't take pictures of every single thing because he would be out there forever. But he said he did radio it in, and the items were picked up and they are sent to the GPS coordinates. So that is where those clothes went, to the GPS coordinates. And if you guys had seen my video of the I think it was a cop that did the analysis. No, I'm sorry, it was a forensic specialist that did the analysis of all the clothes. So those clothes, I wish I could have did this in order, but I just talk about the clips as I find them, or should I say the videos as I find them. So I couldn't do it in order like that. But yeah. So basically that's what he said about that. They just send it to them and then it gets processed. And then, in that video, I talked about how they process it. And I think I call that the forensic files, because it was like the forensic files, like this. But, it was interesting, very long. But, you have to understand why they have to do everything so carefully, down to figuring out where, the blood and all that type of stuff. But, we went over that in that other video. But that's pretty much those two. So I just wanted to quickly, just talk to you about that. Miss Louise turning in that ID, and Agent Barnes finding baby girl's clothing out there, and that was basically it. I did want to find the teacher interview. I cannot find the teacher's interview at all. I heard about the teacher's interview. I heard, the teacher, I think it was a substitute. Please, you guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was a substitute that was very, she liked Nazia. That's what she said. She would, offer Nazia little snacks that she had. That's what she said. And she seemed like a very sweet girl. That was the incident where Nazia was laying on the floor and wanting to talk to somebody. And I so hate that, because I'm like I said in my other video, what did she want to say? If you could, just turn back time just a little bit, what was she going to say? Was she going to say, look, I need help. I'm pregnant. She had, it would be obvious. You would have seen it, right? I'm guessing. But she was going to say something. And we will never know. I wish somebody would have went and saw what was wrong with her. So it's just so sad when you hear stuff like this, that nobody came to this girl at all. The one person that she really probably thought loved her, he was a pedo. He was only interested in her because she was a child. You know what I'm saying? Really, the minute she hit 19, 20, she was going to get treated like he did all the other women. He wanted a child. So, that just really sucks. That just really sucks. And hopefully, let me address something right quick. I left the comment there, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that, but somebody said in a comment about the story I did on Valerie that I was bashing him. And I left my comment. I said, no, I wasn't bashing Valerie, Nazia's brother, when he spoke about what he said. And I compared the two interviews together. The first one where he said, I don't know him. I don't know him at all. That's my cousin's, father. I don't know him. And the second one, he pretty much wants to square up and he has his piece on him. So, I just said, it might have been a little tad bit of gaslighting. It might have been a little bit. That's it. I didn't bash the kid. If anything, I said, I really wish the best for this child, because he's a child. He could be my son, man. He could be my son. I really wish the best for him. Most definitely his mother because I know this, if anything, has pushed her over the edge. You know what I'm saying? The people that she trusted with her daughter, and they pretty much lost her daughter. So no, I wouldn't bash a child. That sounds crazy. If I'm gonna say this particular the videos I've been doing on um, the Harris family and even Jarvis, I have not bashed anybody. I have not spoke on how any of these women look. I have not said anything crazy. I just have not. It's not because I can't, because I can say a lot of stuff. I choose not to. It's no point in that for me right now. Now, the one thing I've had said, and I'm going to keep saying it, is I call Jarvis, all his little women out there, I call them Jarvis junkies, because that's really what they are. The ones that's putting up these little fan pages and they free Jarvis and all that kind of nonsense. Like, really? Something got to be wrong with you to do something like that. But no, and if that person is listening to this video, and they ask me, oh, you're just bashing him to get views. That's exactly what that person said. And the only view that I get a substantial amount of money from is when my boss views me at work. That's it. That's the only view I have, is when I'm at work, okay? So don't. That's not even fly, all right? I'm just reporting a story that I was talking about, almost it's been a year now. A year ago. Yeah, if you look through my missing person cases, I reported it a year ago. When, trust and believe, there wasn't nobody talking about it on YouTube. Nobody. Maybe the people out of Detroit probably were, but the ones that are talking about it now, nobody was. And I'm not trying to say that that's not, I'm glad everyone's talking about it. It's getting exposure, which is good, because nobody was saying anything. She was just a little black girl that got off the school bus and nobody could find her. That's all it was. So there's no way in hell that I'm going to bash, these people. I don't know these people, but, people are frustrated. That's why they say little side stuff, because we know that this family is holding out more than what they're saying. And unfortunately, we just have to wait. We might just have to wait until court to find out, what's really going on. So once again, no, I didn't bash the little boy. I was going to delete the comment, but I said, I'm going to keep it, because you can go through all these damn videos. The ones I did on Justice for Nazaya. I've never bashed nobody again. That's not what I'm trying to do right here. I'm just trying to get all the facts and even the little side stuff, the rat hole I discussed, trying to get all that together. So when we go to trial, we can stick to that trial, and we can all be hoping that really justice is served. We already know Jarvis is going to get his, but there's people that need to get theirs as well. That's the situation here, Yep. So there you go, everyone. And I will definitely be back. You guys stay safe. All right.